Following the massive protest in Bangladesh, the Prime Minister is now on the run after protesters surrounded her official residence. She had no other option than to resign and was flown away in a military helicopter. The military is now in control. They've met their president and other opposition party leaders to chart a way forward for their country. The protest started in July with students calling for an end to civil service quotas. It quickly turned to a call for the Prime Minister to go. This was because of the way police handled the protests. They were heavy-handed. They have killed a total of 300 people since the protest started. Yesterday alone, they killed 90 people. But instead of that to deter the people from coming out to protest, it motivated them. They trooped out in more numbers until they surrounded her official residence. She had no other option than to resign and run away. The same thing is happening in Nigeria. Will Tinubu run away like the Prime Minister of Bangladesh? The nationwide protest started in Nigeria on the 1st of July after giving the government 3 weeks notice, with the protesters publishing a list of demands for the government to implement. But the government didn't implement any of the demands. Instead, they spent time lobbying traditional rulers, religious leaders, and everyone they could get their hands on to convince Nigerians not to troop out en masse to protest. The effort failed woefully, even in northern Nigeria, where people are mostly loyal to their traditional rulers and religious leaders, for the simple reason that the protest was motivated by hunger. Nigerians are hungry. You cannot negotiate with hunger. That's why people started chanting during the protests that they rather die protesting on the streets than die of hunger in their homes. Unlike in Bangladesh, the Nigerian police have been high-handed, killing more than 30 people so far. As the protest progressed, many political leaders started calling on Tinubu to address Nigerians, which he eventually did yesterday. But the address was met with disappointment because he never addressed even one single demand of the protesters. Instead, he was busy saying what he has done and what he plans to do. He even started issuing threats that people should no longer come out to protest, that the police will come down hard on protesters going forward. That quickly backfired. It motivated more Nigerians to troop out in more numbers. Look at what is happening in Kaduna today. Thousands of people are on the streets protesting, and like in Kanu, people can be seen protesting with Russian flags. In the north, people believe that Tinubu panicked and quickly addressed Nigerians because people in Kanu were waving Russian flags. That's why the Russian flag is spreading, even as far as Zamfara. As you can see in this video, people are waving Russian flags. Also, the calls for the military to take over power has increased, as can be seen in this video. Also of notice is that the military is showing serious solidarity with the people. The enlightenment in the north is spreading very fast. People are now awake. This woman is addressing Tinubu directly. She's saying in Hausa that they took spaghetti to vote for him, that they will never make such a mistake again. In fact, that they are willing to return it, that they don't want any more. This is the kind of voter education that is needed in the north. because politicians take them for granted, not just in the north alone, but mostly in the north. They always feel that, just meet one imam, he will preach and tell people who to vote for, and they will vote for that person en masse. Good governance doesn't matter. You don't need to even ask who is that person. And the highest motivating factor is always religion. They will tell you, he's a Muslim, he's a this, he's that, just vote for him, everything will be all right. Now, let's hear what this social activist is telling protesters in Jos.
I am not a Muslim. I am a Nigerian. That doesn't mean I don't practice Islam. I am not a Christian, but I am a Nigerian. It doesn't mean I'm not a practicing Christian. But we must stop allowing those who are leading us to use religion, which is a blessing to humanity, to keep defeating us. I was born and raised in the city of Kano. Some of my best friends are Muslims. Today when I go to Kano, I go to Majalisa. We eat together. A few weeks ago, I had to send money to Nasir, who is a Muslim. He's a childhood friend. When we sit together, we are not talking about religion. How many more of our children do we have to kill in the name of religion? How much more poverty do we have to endure because of religion? Come, my dear, why?
Tinubu can learn a lot from what is happening in not just Africa, in Bangladesh, in many countries. The money is not yours. The wealth of this country belongs to Nigerians. And the same Nigerians are telling you, we don't want the direction you are heading. We want you to head in so-so direction. Why don't you listen to them? When the protests started in Kenya, Ruto did the same thing. He initially refused to listen to the protesters, but after a few days, he quickly humbled himself and started implementing the demands by the protesters. Tinubu can do the same thing. He has done his initial gra-gra. It is time to listen to Nigerians and implement their demands. The money and wealth of this country doesn't belong to him. He should act in the best interest of Nigerians because time is running out. The situation is becoming completely unpredictable. Anything that happens, in any case that this country is plunged into a serious crisis, he will be held accountable. He will be held completely responsible because he had all the time to stop the protest and the crisis, but he simply refused. Instead of solving the problems that are provoking the protests, which is hunger and hardship, which unfortunately they brought on Nigerians, they are busy pushing a political narrative. Even in his address yesterday, he tried to blame it on the opposition. Why they are pushing this narrative is because they are finding a way to arrest the opposition leaders and lock them away on trumped-up charges, just like a military regime, so as to quench the opposition voices. That's why they are doing this. In a democracy, if opposition doesn't exist, then it has become communism or one-party state. So there's still enough time to solve this problem because the protest is spreading. And kudos to the governor of Adamawa State. He's the only governor that has come out to condemn what they are doing. He's telling Tinubu to his face that, hey, you caused this problem. You are supposed to solve the problem. He's showing serious solidarity with the Nigerian people, not like other governors who haven't come out to back their people, back the protest, and tell the government, yes, this is what is driving the protest, not the narrative, not the political narrative they are pushing.
Yo vamos tu azar iba. Okay?
Men, they no be lie.